Geekus, who is here tonight to talk to the students and parents at Upper Dauphin Area High School. They are going to, at Upper Dauphin Area Middle School, make that. Congressman Geekus here to help in the ceremonies honoring not only the 200th anniversary of the Bill of Rights, but also the gentlemen and ladies participating in the Persian Gulf. So we are thankful for the Congressman's participation here tonight. We look forward to hearing his comments.
Yeah.
Thank you. The yellow ribbons do abound, of course, all over the valley here in support of the troops in the Persian Gulf, the Desert Storm troops. And tonight, the Trojan Middle School has decorated the inner courtyard, has given it a look of flags all the way around the inner courtyard. The base of the flag pole here is decorated with yellow ribbons, and so things are looking certainly in patriotic order tonight for the rally in support of the troops. Even the entrance to the school is decorated here from UDA Middle School to the Persian Gulf. Great support shown here for this rally this evening. The Bill of Rights, perhaps being the biggest and most important document in the U.S. constitutional history, is well represented here this evening as the students have submitted a lot of neat-looking posters and billboards, signboards, all about the city plan for the Constitution, the founders' achievements, and so forth. So it is a real celebration this evening of both the Bill of Rights and to commemorate the troops. A lot of excitement here at the Upper Dauphin Area Middle School.
Now you go to the library. Your mom's okay down there, you go to the library. See? See? Where you don't go. Not yet.
Kids really done some nice work on this project.
They sure did. They did a lot of nice work on here. Yep.
It took a vastly better time to do this. Right. I can't believe what it meant. So is he going to get away with what he's done? We can have the land out there, not to our children. How about all this slaughtering against some people? He's got the face. Really got it. That's not they said that they have a bill in Congress
Just prior to the opening of the festivities this evening, Congressman Geekus at the piano playing a swell version of Beautiful Dreamer. Apparently by heart. I don't see him carrying any music. Good job.
They left at 10 o'clock and they didn't get back till 5.
Oh, it's Saturday.
Yeah, in the morning. He was over in the afternoon.
I was
Leading off this evening's program will be Student Council Vice President Brooke Kreiser. She will be welcoming the folks here this evening.
Ron, run to the library and get in the chair real quick. No, we have one more.
Would everyone please stand and remain standing until after the pledge of allegiance? begin singing the national anthem. Please be seated. Kaiser, and I'm Vice President of the Upper Dalton Area Middle School Student Council. I would like to welcome you to a very special evening. Tonight you will have the opportunity to do two things. First, you will be able to take part in a very special ceremony, which will honor our area servicemen and women who are presently serving in the Persian Gulf. This program, we hope, will let our friends and loved ones know how much we appreciate their dedication and sense of duty as they have left their families and entered a foreign land to defend the rights of a tiny nation and its people. After our special ceremony, you will be able to take a walk through freedom as portrayed in displays designed by nearly 500 middle school students and their social studies teachers. Unique to our program is a special display, part of which is on loan to us by the Pennsylvania Department of Education and Dr. Jim Wetzler, and part of which has been given to us by the Pennsylvania Humanities Council through a grant funded by the IBM Corporation. The display focuses on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We thank the Council, IBM, and Dr. Wetzler for this very special exhibit. A special map of parts is also on display for your review. The map was made by Becky Rummel, one of our elementary students, and our sister, Katie. On our stage, you will see the Middle School's Tree of Hope. All of the names of the servicemen and women being honored tonight, and the name of all the graduates from Upper Dalton area serving in Desert Storm have been put on the yellow ribbons hanging on the tree. The Tree of Hope stands for two important hopes: the hope for the safe return of our troops, and the hope for a quick and lasting peace. Since the ground war has begun, the Middle School's Tree of Hope should also stand for the hope that our ground forces will be safe and will quickly liberate Kuwait and its people. Information tables are in the lobby with some handouts we think might be of help to you. You may also turn in your support group surveys and order tapes of this evening's program if you wish. Those forms you will find in your program. The special booklet you received this evening as a memento was designed by Mrs. Capta's 7-1 writing and speech classes. They extend to all of you a warm welcome, a wish for peace, and a safe return of all military personnel. As you leave tonight, please notice two things. First, the sign erected in front of our building has been made by Mr. Chris and his shop students. The sign will remain to show our special support to those former Upper Dalton area students involved in Operation Desert Storm. Secondly, notice the yellow ribbons on our flagpole. Each ribbon has been placed to honor one of the former Upper Dalton area students serving in the Persian Gulf. Student Council wishes them well. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Social Studies Department, Mrs. Kratzer and the Home Economics Department, Mrs. Bonwit and the Art Department, Mrs. Cummins and Miss Bond and the music department, Mr. Schomper and the computer department, and all those students, particularly from Mrs. Kappas's and Mr. Miller's classes who took the time to prepare for this evening's reception. Mrs. Kappas would also like to thank the entire staff for being so patient during rehearsal and setup. And special thanks to all of our speakers for attending tonight. But most importantly, thank you to all the families who came forward to be part of our program. Without you, this special evening could not have happened. We want you to know that we support you and your loved ones' efforts in the Persian Gulf. Good luck to all of you. I would now like to introduce to you our middle school principal, Mr. Robert Franklin.
Good evening. As I prepared a few things for tonight, I think Brooke must have copied them. I wanted to thank a lot of people too, so I will do so anyways. On behalf of the middle school students and staff, we'd like to welcome you to this very special program this evening. The themes for tonight's program are quite appropriate for this time in history. The Constitution and its amendments, the 200th anniversary of the Bill of Rights, represents a review of more than just the basic laws of our nation. They stand for the beliefs, the values of the people of the United States of America. And the second theme, the tribute to the area service personnel serving in the Persian Gulf, is equally appropriate. These people are sending a message to the world, and that message is that we will stand up for those things that we believe in. I am proud of the effort of our students and the tremendous work that they put into tonight's program. I'm also very proud of the faculty, as it was pointed out, who have assisted throughout the entire program. I would especially like to recognize Mary Kappas and Terry Miller for their efforts. Thank you. I also would like to show our appreciation for those people who gave up from their very, very busy schedules to be with us tonight and be a part of our program. Thank you. And finally, it does my heart good to look out there and see such a large group out there, because this is saying something about our community. This is a community that is concerned and caring. I'm proud to be a part of it. Welcome to our program.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin. Our next speaker is the superintendent of our district, Dr. Andrew Hills.
Thank you. I'd like to offer a special welcome on behalf of the Upper Dauphin Area School District to a wonderful program that certainly commemorates the Bill of Rights and for the tribute tonight to our veterans overseas in Saudi Arabia. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the students who've done all the work, certainly the teachers who've assisted, and for the teachers that have just been mentioned, and certainly to you, Mr. Franklin, for your efforts tonight. It's very fitting, though, to incorporate certainly the Bill of Rights I found today was the 200th anniversary would be this December. I kept thinking it was probably maybe a year ago or so, it might have been the 200th, but you know, look at time as it marches on with our various 200 anniversaries. It won't be until this December. I've had the good fortune to travel in a number of different countries, and I've been lucky enough every time I come back to the United States realize that there's only one great country like ours. And part of this greatness comes from the Bill of Rights and the many, many freedoms that we have. And as we've gone through the war and understanding what the various countries live under in terms of dictatorships or various rulers, we have to be very, very appreciative of the Bill of Rights that we live under. But I think it's also a fitting tribute tonight to those who are certainly commemorating and remembering our service people overseas. As a veteran of the Vietnam era, we never had anything like this. Although I was at the very beginning of the Vietnam era, but we often wondered and often had some guilt trips. But as a special tribute tonight, my brother is also over in Saudi Arabia. And I know we worry as we hear each of the radio reports from Saudi Arabia, everything from the bombing tonight to whatever it might be. So I thank you for all those who've had a part to remember those that are in Persian Gulf right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. Dr. Rosemary Ratsovich, elementary principal, will now say a few words.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. Times like this, I was thinking on Saturday when the land war started, how fitting it was for us to share this tonight. Because of the loneliness that you may feel, when you come together with people like this, it helps you to feel warm and you have a sharing of that I'm not alone in this situation and that other people feel the way I do. I don't know about you, but when I sang that national anthem, I had chills going up and down my spine because of all the people here were giving out that same feeling. We're very proud to be Americans and we're very proud to be free. The children in the elementary school, we have 80-some children who have direct relatives in Saudi Arabia. That includes mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and uncles. And the children themselves have shown a lot of support. We have, once a week now, we do the pledge to the flag together as a building. We were doing it every day, and now we're doing it once a week. Also, we have packets for the children, and if anybody would like some, please call the elementary office. It's helping elementary-age children deal with the crises of war and having relatives in a fighting situation. And also, I'd like to say thank you to all of the parents who, I know sometimes, you know, it's rough when your child's looking at something where people are getting killed and hurt. And we're with you, we're there to help you. And if you need any assistance, please call, and all of our facilities are here, our guidance people and myself. And also, let's just say one more prayer for those guys that are over there and women that are there as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ratzlager. Mrs. Barbara Langer, President of the Upper Dalton Area Education Association, would like to say a few words. Mrs. Langer.
As President of the Upper Dalton Area Teachers Association, I would like to express my gratitude and thanks for all of you attending this evening. And I would like you also to know that while your students are in our district during the day, whenever there's a shoulder needed or an ear, we're there, and they help us get through these times as much as we help them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Terry Miller, 7th grade geography teacher at the middle school, was coordinator of the student projects you will view tonight. Mr. Miller.
For the past several years, the students at the Upper Dalton Middle School have always participated in a school-wide newspaper and education week project. And many of you recall last year's projects were quite good with the geography theme. This year's project is a little more challenging. A lot of people consider studying the Constitution just something you do once in your life during an American history class and so forth. I even had found a quote that said a 1987 New York City newspaper survey showed that 59% of the participants couldn't even identify the Bill of Rights. So, in that vein, we tried to give the kids a chance to have a unique way of looking at the Constitution, and we divided it all up. There's 22, 23 social studies classes. Everybody had a section of the Constitution or one of the amendments, and they had to research it, find newspaper articles on it, and so forth, and come up with a display. What you see in the other room is that the example of what they have done. The Constitution is quite important. Each day the newspapers tell us about our government's successes and failures, its challenges, and of course its everyday workings. In addition to the newspapers, we found materials from the Pennsylvania Humanities Council, the Commission on the Bicentennial of the Bill of Rights, Pennsylvania Department of Education, and Representative Geekas provide each student with a pocket Constitution, has the Constitution and all the amendments in it. We'd like to extend our appreciation for all these contributions. We also invited many of the government officials you see here tonight, and to tell you the truth, many of the students were surprised that they would even come to the Upward Office. But here they are, and my hat's off to you. It just shows that the politicians do respond to the needs and responsibilities of office and to the constituents and their children. So at the conclusion of the candlelighting ceremony, please join us and walk through the Constitution, see what your children have done, of course, the refreshments. And the Constitution, something we need to really concentrate on for 200 years. It's made America what it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Our next speaker is Mrs. Mary Pappas, Student Council Advisor and Co-Coordinator of tonight's program.
Good evening and welcome to the middle school. The United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights have survived for 200 years or more because of brave men and women who served their country and defended the basic rights each American citizen is entitled to. Because the majority of Americans have felt the duty to preserve the rights of any human being in any country, our servicemen and women have sometimes traveled to distant lands for the purpose of defense. Such has been the case since last August, when the military began to be deployed to the Persian Gulf. Many who comprise that military are area residents and relatives and friends of those of you who are here tonight. Since the Constitution and Bill of Rights project here at the middle school state the precious rights we often take for granted, and since the military is helping to defend those rights which have been taken away from the people of Kuwait, it seemed fitting that tonight's program be dedicated to the Allied forces and in particular to our loved ones presently serving. Our fathers, mothers, sons and daughters, wives, husbands, grandparents, in-laws, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and neighbors need to know how much we support their efforts. Please accept from the middle school this program in honor of all of them who serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Tappan. Larry Lawrence, an 8th grade student council member, will read a special message from the Governor of Pennsylvania, the Honorable Robert P. Casey.
As Governor, I am pleased to welcome everybody to Upper Dauphin Area Middle School as you honor the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights, contained in the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, is every American's guarantee of freedom, said President Harry Truman: freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of reasonable search and seizure, freedom from self-incrimination. Too often, Americans take our democratic freedoms for granted. They forget to vote. People in other countries die for the right to vote. We ignore our elected officials. In other lands, families are imprisoned for approaching their elected officials. And we do not appreciate the full value of the separation of church and state. Many other countries have one official religion, and to be seen reading a Bible can mean immediate death. We must look to other countries and see the hunger of men and women struggling to have the freedoms we have held for so long. The people of Eastern Europe have looked to the Constitution of the United States as a model guarantee of liberty. The Bill of Rights is more than a set of working promises for the rights of Americans. It remains an inspiring example of human freedom for the rest of the world. I commend the students and educators of Upper Dauphin Area Middle School for emphasizing the significance that Amendments 1 through 10 of the United States Constitution have for us all. Mrs. Casey and I send our best wishes for an enjoyable evening. Robert P. Casey, Governor, February 25th, 1991.
Thank you, Larry. This evening, the middle school is very honored to have so many dignitaries taking part in our program. They all have a special message for you. First, I am happy to introduce the Honorable George Geekus, who represents our 17th Congressional District, Congress people.
Thank you. To the education community of this area, teachers, administrators, students, and parents, to my fellow public officials who grace the stage, to To all, I bring you greetings from Washington, D.C., where the President of the United States sits at his desk monitoring the events in the Persian Gulf, always alert to whatever news might be affecting our fellow Americans in that region of the world. By the authority vested in me as your member of Congress, directly related to the Commander-in-Chief in the line of communication, the chain of command, I am authorized here to declare victory in advance for the troops in the Persian Gulf. All those here who are in favor of so declaring victory signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, the motion carries unanimously. And in 200 years ago, on this very date, February the 25th, another commander-in-chief, the first one, another president, the first one, the father of our country, was also seated at his desk, waiting for reports about skirmishes that were taking place in which the armed forces of our nation then were involved out in the western reaches of our country. He went about his routine business, but always with his mind and his heart on the troops that were committed to the business of defending our then country. He had served in a previous war. We all know that history. He served as an officer. He was a veteran. And now, as Commander-in-Chief and as President of the land, he saw it was his duty to further protect that very nation to which he had given service and his fellow Americans had given service just a little while before that. And so it is that tonight, this President commits our fellow Americans to a hostile battleground with the prospect of that victory to which you have now signified your support formally. And we know that the ultimate word will be that we will have prevailed. And that same Bill of Rights then, which our young people proclaim with every interview that they give over there, with every sense of honor and duty and loyalty that is at the command of any American any time in history, they, contrary to the flag burners here, contrary to the protesters here, are standing up and hoisting the flag of the United States of America. In doing so, they, more than any of us here, are proclaiming the sanctity and the beauty of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States. We sang our national anthem, an anthem that was born during a conflict in which the flag was under fire. That very same flag, its successor, flying over the deserts of the Middle East, is under fire. And yet, our troops there will hoist it, preserve it, and bring it back to us as a victory emblem. If, when history is written in the next century about this conflict, and they look back at us, they will say that one night in February of 1991, in a school in Dauphin County, Pennsylvania, there met a loyal, fiercely loyal band of American citizens who saluted their fellow Americans in Saudi Arabia and proclaimed victory for the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, I am proud to introduce the Honorable John J. Shoemaker, who represents Senatorial District Number 15. Senator Shoemaker.
Thank you, Brooke. It may be a little chilly outside tonight, but there are warm hearts inside as we gather here to show our support, our total support for the men and women who are serving in operation in the Gulf and in the areas in addition to the Gulf, and it is called Operation Desert Storm. Now, Many times you've come in this same auditorium. And the reason you came in here is to have a rally in support of an athletic team, in support of the school. But tonight, you come in here in support of the greatest team of all, and that's our men and women who are fighting over there to free the country from Saddam or Saddam, whichever way you want to call him, Hussein. How wonderful it will be when we can welcome our troops home. But that day, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of everyone in here, cannot be the day when Saddam Hussein says uncle. It should be the day when Saddam Hussein is entirely out of power, is no longer a force anywhere in the world, and then we can say we have done our job, bring our troops home, and salute our men and women who have done one of those greatest things that's ever happened in this history of this universe, is that we've cleaned up a dictator, and we're tired of having dictators, and then we'll kiss them, have them come home and say you did one of the finest jobs that's ever been done in history. Thank you very much.
Represents the 104th Legislative District. Representative DeCola.
Congress shall make no law establishing a religion or interfering with the free practice thereof. Congress shall make no law interfering with the people's right to free speech. The right of the people to bear arms shall not be interfered with. The right of the people to be free from unreasonable search and seizure in their homes shall be guaranteed. These are a part and parcel of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, which we are gathered to celebrate here this evening. And they demonstrate that the greatness of this country is not in its government, but in the limitations we have placed upon our government. It is a recognition and a celebration of a document that does not control people, but sets people free. It is a recognition that greatness in a nation is achieved by people, not by a government. It is an idea that has been sown round the world, and the people of Eastern Europe, and yes, even the Soviet Union, are just beginning to recognize the greatness of that idea. Paper, but of an idea. That idea is that the people of a right should be free. And if the one thing we celebrate this evening, and the one thing that is being demonstrated in the far corners of the world by brave men and women from this community and communities like us around this country, it is that we believe in that idea and that we are a free people. Thank you so much for allowing me to participate and share in this celebration, and Godspeed.
Thank you. From the 108th Legislative District, I am happy to introduce the Honorable Merle H. Phillips. Representative Phillips.
Thank you very much. First, I'd like to say I am impressed with the display that these students, with the help of their teachers, came up with, and I think it's just great, and that's what education is all about. No matter how you look at it,
thanks to the Bill of Rights, we can assemble here tonight. And I can say what I choose as I stand at this rostrum. This year we mark the 200th anniversary of the date of the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, which is known as the Bill of Rights. The first of those amendments provide for freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, and of the right to assemble or petition the government. And so we come here tonight as free people, and that is important. You have the right to speak whatever's on your mind. Of course, additionally, I'm mindful that you as an audience have another right, and that's a right not to listen, so I'm going to make it short. Most people talk about their rights. They will say, you cannot do that to me. I know my rights. Sadly, we've become so accustomed to our rights listed in the Bill of Rights that many Americans take them for granted. The Bill of Rights spells out the rights that most Americans had at the time they were proposed by the first Congress at its first session in 1789. It's freedom of assembly, religion, speech, press, and petition, freedom from quartering troops, search and seizure, double jeopardy, being a witness against oneself, cruel and unusual punishment, and excessive bail and fines, and the right to a speedy and public trial with an impartial jury, just compensation for property taken, and representation by counsel. The Bill of Rights, which guarantees so many of our basic freedom, wasn't in the Constitution when first Congress met, so the Congress did something about it. On September Day over 200 years ago in 1789, Congress sent the states 12 proposed amendments to the Constitution to clarify certain individual and state rights not named in the Constitution. And now, as you know, 10 of those amendments made it through the process and were put in force in December of 1791, constituting ever since what is known as the Bill of Rights. I have touched on what the Bill of Rights and the fact that the amendments were proposed to clarify certain individual and state rights, but beyond that, the question remains, why do we have the Bill of Rights? The purpose of the Bill of Rights is to remove certain rights from political controversy, place them above and beyond the reach of majorities and officials, and establish them as fundamental legal principles. By giving them constitutional status, we declare them to be right that government cannot impair or deny. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people is meaningful and possible only in a system that combines majority rule and civil liberties. Although public policy is determined by the will of the majority, the will can be made known only through the full exercise of the liberties of the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is the guardian of our security as well as our liberty. These are the fundamental facts we cannot lose sight of as we mark the 200th anniversary of the Bill of Rights through 1991. You see, that is why we have men and women in the Middle East. And that is why we have men that are sacrificing, who are giving their life, as we heard today, who have families back home who are waiting. It's for the rights that we're looking in the rear of the auditorium. And we will not have the downright evil madmen take away them rights. I support our troops, and I know you support our troops or you wouldn't be here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are pleased to have with us tonight all of our county commissioners. First, I have the pleasure of introducing the chairwoman of the Dauphin County Commissioners, Mrs. Sally Klein. Mrs. Klein.
Thank you, Brooke. Fellow elected officials and dignitaries, parents, and especially students of the Upper Dauphin Area Middle School. I want to thank you so much for including me in your celebration of the Constitution and the 200th anniversary of the Bill of Rights. And I want to say how in awe I am of this evening. It's quite apparent the amount of hard work that has gone in to bring this evening to everyone. The parents, the principals, the students especially who participated to create the posters in the back of the room. There's been an obvious amount of learning and pride, not only in the community, but in our country. As a former school teacher, it's wonderful to be part of this learning atmosphere. You have a great deal to be proud of in the Upper Dauphin Area Middle School. I keep saying medical school, but I do thank you for allowing me to be part of your special celebration. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Commissioner Carol Peters. Ms. Peters.
Thank you, and I would too like to thank the students and our educators for inviting us here this evening. It's always so delightful and it's always so encouraging to see our young people get involved and to understand what is going on in the world, because it certainly is their future. I just wanted to give you a little bit of, I guess, my own personal experience. My husband in 1966 and 67 served in Vietnam, and my son, who is now 24 years old, was a month old when he left, and my daughter was a year old when he left, and she's 25 years old now. So I certainly understand what the families of our servicemen are going through. I can remember the days that I spent glued to the TV at that time, and of course, everybody had an assigned station in our family. Everyone was to watch every single station, and invariably a neighbor or someone would call and they would say, "We think we saw Bill." And I'm sure you're going through the same thing with reading every newspaper and listening to the radio and absorbing your whole life with what is going on in the Gulf. But I can't tell you how painful it is for me to have to relive another war. No one escapes from the scars of war. But I am so grateful and thankful that the support for our troops and for their families is evidenced by all of you who are in attendance here today. We must comfort and console each other in this most difficult time. It is so important to have the support for the families and their troops. May we continue to give this outpouring of love and consolation. And please, may we all pray for peace. Thank you very much for that.
Introduce Dauphin County Commissioner Russell Schaefer. Mr. Schaefer.
Thank you very much. I apologize for my voice, but I'm known as the bullhead, and I got out of my sick bed to be here with you tonight. It's tough when you follow people as eloquent as the speakers here in a normal fashion, but when you have a voice that's going down the tubes like mine is, it's even worse. It's embarrassing to me, and I know it must be for you, but I'm going to say what I have to say, and I hope you'll understand. This is my second time to visit your school, and I'm more impressed each time I come up with the education system that you have here and with the students. When history records that which is going on in the Persian Gulf now, we know that our country is in outstanding hands. And when we look at our students who are participating here tonight in our program, there's no need for anybody to worry or wonder, where is our country gone? It is in great hands with the students and the youth of today. No one need worry. This country is going to stand tall and strong for a long, long time, and I'm happy just to be a small part of it. Thank you very much for putting up with me.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. George W. Mueller, State Adjutant, Department of Foreign War. Mr. Mueller.
you. It's very gratifying for me to come into a place like this and see what the students learn and what they're doing. My only argument about it is these are not the kind of students we hear about. We don't hear about the good ones, we hear about the bad ones. And that's what makes my heart beat. I'd like to talk to you about the Desert Storm and the Bill of Rights. When the United States ratified the Bill of Rights in 1791, we established the fundamental principles of individual liberty. We displayed to the world a new kind of freedom. For 200 years, oppressed people everywhere have looked to the great doctrine of inspiration in their struggle against tyranny. The first 10 commandments in our Constitution include the freedoms and ideals closest to our hearts. Freedom of religion, of speech, of the press, and the right of peaceful assembly, the right to keep and bear arms, protection of the rights of the accused, including the rights to counsel, trial by jury, and due process. Like the Statue of Liberty, these 10 amendments have served as a guiding light to people everywhere, illuminating and encouraging our belief in freedom, justice, and the rule of the law. Our Bill of Rights has become an international standard of human rights. Throughout our nation's history, men and women have bravely answered the call to defend the freedoms our Constitution protects. Many have given their lives. Today in Kuwait, we're battling a dictator who would destroy the most basic human rights, who through power, money, and influence would impose his violation of human rights on the weaker nations of the world. Let's take a look at some of these human basic rights that Saddam Hussein and his brutal forces have violated in Kuwait. Freedom of speech. No Kuwaiti dares to oppose Saddam. To do so is suicide. Even Saddam's own citizens are afraid to answer reporters' questions. Freedom of the press. No such thing. The only communication allowed are the Iraq government sponsored radio, newspaper, television. These are heavily censored, full of lies. The right to peaceful assembly. Any group of Kuwaiti citizens outside of a prison camp is a threat to Saddam. They may not assemble, let alone protest or petition the so-called government for redress of grievances. The men and women of Kuwait have a long list of grievances to petition against, from robbery and assault all the way up to murder. That takes care of the First Amendment. What about the second? The right to keep and bear arms. I don't think putting weapons in the hands of a conquered nation is the top of Saddam's list. The Third and Fourth Amendments, preventing deporting of troops without consent of the property owner and eliminating unreasonable searches and seizures, are not Saddam's favorite either. His troops have not only taken over the homes of Kuwaiti citizens, but they have stolen their values and beaten them. I can go on, but I think you get the point. These values, which we hold most dear, the values of which American soldiers have fought and died the world over, and are now at risk right now in the Middle East. The nations of the world have gathered to ask us to remove this threat of world peace. We are in the Middle East operating under a mandate from the United Nations and countries from around the world that join our efforts to restore the legitimate rights of the people of Kuwait. In every age, another dictator rises and tends to trample the human rights of plain, ordinary people like you and me. And thank God this country is able to stand up for the little guys, to draw a line in the sand and say enough. Many people will say, it's not our fight, but what are we doing there? To them I say, it's always our fight. Whenever people are threatened, whenever people are oppressed, it is our duty to bring our power to bear the cause is just. Right now, the people of Kuwait need our help. This cause is just. We should be proud to lift the lamp of freedom anywhere in the world, anytime. May God bless you. May God bless and protect the troops in Desert Storm. And may God bless the United States of America.
Our jazz band has prepared a special patriotic tribute entitled Americana Overture. The jazz band is under the direction of Ms. Heidi Vaughn. Ms. Vaughn and the Upper Dauphin Area Middle School Jazz Band in their premier performance.
That's your Uncle Brooke.
Before that, we'd like to introduce Mr. Warren Williams, past 13th District Commander, American Legion Department of Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Brooke. I'm sure you didn't do that intentionally. Distinguished guests on the podium here, ladies, gentlemen, and of course you students. I bring you greetings from State Commander Ray Lentz and Department Adjutant Ed Holt. They asked me to convey their regrets for not being able to attend this program because of their many commitments. One of them being to save the Scotland School for Veterans Children. This school has been in operation since the 1800s, established to aid and give education to the children of deceased veterans who were killed in wartime service to this great nation. We, the veterans, deem it very inappropriate at this time to contemplate the closing of this school by our governor, while our service people are at this time laying their lives on the line in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. The Legionnaires are very proud of you young people by taking the time to learn about our great Constitution, its meaning, and its advantages for freedom-loving people. Our forefathers took great pains to study out each detail to make sure that no one branch of our government could assume complete command of this great nation, and that all people should be created equal. Your concern for our service people serving in Desert Storm is a commendable and wonderful thing that you are doing. Over the many centuries, we have seen tyrants who tried to enslave other people and rented their cruelties on them. To name a few, dating back to the days of the Pharaohs, Genghis Khan, Attila the Hun, Caesar, Napoleon, Adolf Hitler, and now the Butcher of Baghdad. We, the Legionnaires, know that war is hell on earth and deplore it. But there are times when we must stop turning the other cheek and stand up to these villains. Your prayers tonight will help because God does answer prayers, and I will attest to this. During World War II, on January 21st, 1944, we were traveling up the coast of Italy under the cover of darkness aboard an ammunition ship loaded with approximately 7,000 tons of high explosives, along with the rest of the convoy, on its way to the landing at Anzio, Italy. I looked inshore at the artillery duels of the Allies and the Germans, and then went to the bow of the ship and began to pray to God to protect me and my fellow comrades as we entered harm's way. The next morning, as we pulled into the unloading zone and dropped our anchor, a battery of 88s opened up fire on us, one round going over the top of the ship, the next salvo on the inshore side, and the next round was right at the spot where our ship had been standing just moments before. Had our ship's captain not drugged the anchor after the first salvo, I would not be here standing before you this evening relating this to you. Yes, God does answer prayers. I thank God that I live in this country, the land of the free and the home of the brave. May God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. Now Miss Bott and the Upper Dauphin Area Middle School Jazz Band in their premiere performance. Thank you. We are now ready to begin the most important part of our program, the candlelight ceremony for our troops. As the participants take their places, I would like to tell you a bit about our choice of music for the ceremony. Long before there was an Operation Desert Storm, there was an Operation Desert Shield. The resident of Camp Hill was deployed to the Persian Gulf, and his father, disc jockey and band member, decided to write a song with him. The song, The Men and Women of Desert Shield, was written by Mr. Dick Stiles, the father of Tony R. Stiles, a specialist with the United States Army. Tonight we are happy to have Mr. Stiles with us, and we are privileged to use his song as background music for our ceremony. Mr. Stiles.
I want to thank Mrs. Cactus and the Upper Dalton Middle School for inviting me. Been never cold, so I sound like Wolfman Jack tonight. I wrote the song not just for myself, for all the parents. I wanted to tell them how we felt. I had no idea it was going to get the response we got, but it took off like wildfire. I got calls from all over the country from people who just liked the song and said, if they did a song, that's what they wanted to say. So it was for my son and for all the men and women in Desert Storm today. And I just want to thank you for inviting me. Thanks very much.
Lit to honor the members of the United States Army.
This candle honors members of the United States Army. This candle is lit to honor members of the United States Army.
Sergeant Jerry Bordner, Army National Guard, cousin of Craig Olenick, candle lit by Craig Olenick.
Staff Sergeant James A. Brower, Air Force National Guard, father of Diana Brower, candle lit by Diana Brower.
Father.
Captain Jeffrey S. Burrell, U.S. Army, cousin of Gail Bixler, candle lit by Ryan Kinch.
Student Council.
Lance Corporal Jason J. Kappas, United States Marine Corps, son of Mr. and Mrs. John Kappas, candle lit by Rick Kappas.
Private First Class John Christ, 365th Army Engineers, son of Mr. Roy E. Christ and Mrs. Mary Ann Rare, candle lit by Roy Christ.
Brother.
Sergeant Brian Cooper, United States Army, son of Mr. and Mrs. Don Cooper. The candle is being lit by Billy Funk. Billy is a student of Sergeant Cooper's mother, a teacher at the middle school, who is presently on sabbatical.
Lance Corporal James Dietrich, United States Marine Corps, son of Mrs. Pat Dietrich, candle lit by Abby Drabowitz.
Specialist 4th Class John Dietrich, United States Army, son of Mrs. Pat Dietrich, candle lit by Amy Bechtel.
Specialist Brad Dietrich, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, son of Mr. and Mrs. Harold Dietrich, candle lit by Mrs. Tina Dietrich.
Specialist Robert Dietrich Jr., United States Army Proven Force, nephew of Darby Dietrich, candle lit by Tara Dietrich.
Specialist Ann Gilbert, United States Army, aunt of Candy Lynn Gilbert, candle lit by Candy Lynn Gilbert.
Lance Corporal Larry Glessner, United States Marine Corps, nephew of Mr. and Mrs. Eric Mortensen, candle lit by Andrew Mortensen.
A Private Second Class Matt Glessner, and Lance Corporal Larry Gassner, United States Marine Corps, 2nd Battalion. Matt is nephew of Mr. and Mrs. Eric Mortensen, candles lit by Pam Mortensen and Andy Mortensen.
Airman First Class Michael Gowdy, United States Air Force, cousin of Lori and Angie Gowdy, candle lit by Bobby Pham.
Airman Mark Gowdy, United States Air Force, cousin of Lori and Angie Gowdy, candle lit by Shana Erdman.
First Class Petty Officer James Hill, brother of Dr. Andrew Hill, candle lit by Mrs. Barbara Langer.
Specialist Bruce Huffman, United States Army, brother of Tammy Wiest, candle lit by Nicholas Huffman.
Major Sue Hoover, United States Army, wife of Todd Hoover, candle lit by Sean Rao.
Specialist Joel Hunter, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, son of Mr. and Mrs. George Dietrich, candle lit by George Hunter, candle lit by George Hunter and Drew Hunter.
Specialist Fourth Class Michael Kaiser, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, son of Mr. and Mrs. Marion Kaiser, candle lit by the Kaiser family.
Specialist Fourth Class Quincy Kaiser, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, son of Mr. and Mrs. Marion Kaiser, candle lit by the Kaiser family.
Staff Sergeant Aaron Shive, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, cousin of David and Sarah Kaiser, candle lit by the Kaiser family.
Sergeant Keith Schaefer, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, candle lit by the Kaiser family.
Private First Class Timothy Klauser, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, cousin of Denise Webster, candle lit by Denise Webster.
Technical Sergeant Robert Kova, United States Air Force, husband of Mrs. Anne Marie Kova, candle lit by Troy Kova.
Sergeant Dennis Lebo, United States Marine Corps, son of Mr. and Mrs. Paul Lebo, candle lit by Mary Lebo.
Staff Sergeant Scott Lightsey, United States Air Force, cousin of Mrs. Lori Crawford, candle lit by Amy Crawford.
Private First Class Jason Lucas, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, son of Mrs. Peg Lucas, candle lit by Lauren Lucas.
Specialist Fourth Class David J. Manning, United States Army, son of Mr. and Mrs. Dale Manning, candle lit by Fran Manning.
First Lieutenant Gail Marciano, National Guard, aunt of Devin Morgan, candle lit by Devin Morgan.
Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence Miller, Pennsylvania Air National Guard, husband of Linda Miller, candle lit by Andy Miller.
Private First Class Michael Miller, United States Army, cousin of Andrea Miller, candle lit by Andrea Miller.
Private Troy Allen Miller, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, cousin of Tony Hoover, candle lit by Tony Hoover and Wanda Undercover.
Julio Montalvo, United States Army, uncle of Stacy Furr, candle lit by Tiani Kessler.
Aviation Boatswain's Mate Handler Airman Apprentice Scott Morgan, United States Navy on board the USS Theodore Roosevelt, cousin of Randy Wendrick Jr., candle lit by Mandy Hart.
Cousin of Meredith Miller, candle lit by Meredith Miller.
Captain Richard Knoll, United States Navy, son of Mrs. Bertha Rubina Knoll, candle lit by Angie Snyder.
Paul Patton, United States Army, uncle of Byron Acker, candle lit by Byron Acker.
First Class Communication Technician Timothy Paul, United States Navy.
Brother.
Son of Mr. and Mrs. Henry Paul, candle lit by Andy Paul.
Brother.
Airman First Class Kevin L. Shadle, United States Air Force. Runner of Holly Shadle, candle lit by Holly Shadle.
Brother.
Specialist Fourth Class Timothy C. Shell, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, nephew of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Shell Sr., candle lit by Danny and David Shell.
Cousin.
Sergeant Michael Schmink, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, cousin of Tiffany Ressler, candle lit by Tiffany Ressler.
Cousin.
Staff Sergeant Claire L. Shoup, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, wife of Janice Shoup, candle lit by Janice Shoup.
Husband.
Specialist Tim Stair, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, nephew of Mr. and Mrs. Eric Mortensen, candle lit by Marie Mortensen.
Technical Sergeant Michael D. Stevens, United States Air Force, son of Mrs. Judy Stevens, candle lit by Ariel Ressler.
Friend of Student Council.
Specialist Tony R. Stiles, United States Army, son of Mr. and Mrs. Dick Stiles, candle lit by Deb Stiles.
Staff Sergeant Delroy Straub Jr., 365th Army Engineers, wife of Patty Straub, candle lit by Brian Morgan.
Sergeant Robert Strout, 121st Transportation Company, Army National Guard, grandfather of Jason D. Schwartz, candle lit by Jason D. Schwartz.
Seaman First Class Joseph Walls, United States Navy, cousin of Eddie Walls Jr., candle lit by Shabani Garrett.
Staff Sergeant Brett White, 193rd United States Air Force Reserve, uncle of Nicole and Michelle Lauber, candle lit by Nicole and Michelle Lauber.
Sergeant Lynn E. Weitzel, United States Army, son of Bernice Weitzel, candle lit by Jamie Allman.
Specialist Fourth Class Curtis Whitmer, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, son of Ann Whitmer, candle lit by Tasha Shuey.
Sergeant Jack Zimmerman, 131st Transportation Company, Pennsylvania National Guard, son of Mr. and Mrs. Jack Zimmerman, candle lit by Tammy Zimmerman.
Intelligence Specialist Dale Shore, United States Navy, uncle of Robbie Shore, candle lit by Robbie Shore.
Doug Snyder, United States Navy, husband of Sandra Snyder, serving on the USS Saratoga, candle lit by Deb Shoup.
Last candle in the name of peace, so that all the people of the world may live in peace and harmony without the fear of aggressor or aggressor conqueror.
our displays and refreshments, we would ask all of you, after Amy Bechtel and Jamie Almond would turn on the overheads, please, to join us in singing God Bless the USA.
Thank you.